राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय 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 राम जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम. Hari Om to everybody. One or two para from the outpourings we will read. Then again we will come back to the original text. Commentaries on our original text. Yesterday, on the occasion of Sri Krishna Ashtami, we connected up this particular para. O Ramdas, you are in Ram and out of him. You are everywhere along with him. He is everywhere along with you. He is tied to you, you are tied to him. You are in his custody, he is in your custody. He cannot do without you, you cannot do without him. He lives in you, you live in him. Still you are his slave, he is your protector. O Ram, thou art two, thou art one. That lover and the loved in fast embrace become one. Two become one. One remains everlasting, infinite, eternal love. O love, O Ram, rave on, mind, charged with the madness of Ram's love. When we read this particular outpouring, what comes to our mind is the inseparable relationship between the devotee and God. In all of us, the same relationship is there, we are not aware of it. So by reading this, we become, oh, correct. Without him, I don't exist. Without me, his existence cannot be known. No? So that is why we are inseparable. It's a very important point in the life of a sadhaka. At no time he is away from us. At no time we are away from him. Papa used to say that moment to moment, his presence should be felt. The biggest challenge for all of us. But we will try. We keep on trying. He is slowly opening the aperture that I cannot live with you, you cannot live with me. That inseparable relationship is there. Whether you know it or not, whether you recognize it or not. That we will try to develop. We will move on to the next para. O Ram, destroy Ramdas's desires. Crush them out of him. Take him on and find him eternal abode in thee. O madness of Ram, O love, let harshness, wrath and desire leave Ramdas entirely. Pure, pure be his mind by thy grace. Ram, save him. Save him, O Ram. O Ram, destroy Ramdas's desires. Crush them out of him. Take him on and find him eternal abode in thee. O madness of Ram, O love, let harshness, wrath and desire leave Ramdas entirely. Pure, pure be his mind by thy grace, Ram. Save him, O Ram. Thou art love pervading everywhere. Ram, 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 everywhere. When we read this, this is uttered by a Mahatma after having gone through nearly 3 years of intense tapasya, intense vairagya, intense concentrated focused remembrance. Just imagine. And he says, destroy Ramdas's desires. At the gross level, there is no desire, we have seen that. So we take it that he is referring to the subtlest level. That may be there in the mind. Crush them out of him. That's what he says. Crush them. It's a warning for all us. Never take it as granted that you are free from the desires. It may not be there outwardly. In a subtle form, it might be there. Given an opportunity, it will come out. So periodically, we have to pray. We have to seek its intervention to relieve us, to make us pure. Crush them out. And find him eternal abode in thee. Every day, Papa Mataji make us to repeat this word, make me thine and thine only forever and ever. Same word. Find him eternal abode in thee. O madness of Ram, O love, let harshness, wrath and desire leave Ramdas entirely. Harshness. Have we ever found any harshness during this travel? So at the cross level it is completely out. But still Papa feels, that harshness, wrath and desire leave Ramdas entirely. Pure, pure be his mind by thy grace, Ram. In good old days when we were cleaning our vessels, after putting it in the oven, it will be blackish, So we keep on rubbing it. Again they are going to put it the same, but still we keep on rubbing it with brick powder or something like that. Rubbing and scrubbing, rubbing and scrubbing, rubbing and scrubbing. If we don't remove it every day, suppose we say again we are going to put the same vessel, after some time it will be difficult to remove the entire one. Because it gets thickened and thickened and thickened. Very difficult. So that is why every day, that means, there's a subtle lesson, when we are in Vyavahara, we take it, we don't know whether Papa meant that, but now we feel, with all this, he was in touch with the world outside. However much at the gross level he was able to concentrate, probably these words have come because that Vyavahara has its own subtle influence on us. So that is why he says he wants not 99%, he wants 100% perfection. It must have reached 99.99, but he wants 100% perfection. To him, that not 1% is also a big impurity for him. He is giving us a warning. Never compromise. Wow. Only we can read. Very difficult, very difficult. Pure be his mind by thy grace. Ram, save him, Save him, This is the word. Save him. O Ram, thou art love. Pervading everywhere. Ram, everywhere. In, out, in all directions. Up, below, in the air, trees, earth, water, sky, space. In all is Ram. Another point for all of us to contemplate. Every time we say all pervading now. So we have to apply our mind. We have to feel, That is why specifically he says, in, out, everywhere means what? In, out, in all directions. Up, below, in the air, trees, earth, water, sky, space, in all is Ram. Ram is love. O love, O Ram, that thrill after thrill of the joy of thy love passed through the soul of Ramdas. O Ram, O joy, O love, O ecstasy, O madness, O goodness, no rest, no sleep, no food, no enjoyment, but thy divine love, divine light. O joy, Ramdas, O joy, Ramdas remains steeped in the nectar of Ram's infinite love. Our mind says, O Ramdas, remain steeped in the nectar of Ram's infinite love. O light, dazzle on. O flashes of lightning. O Ram's glory, flash on, flash on. The inner light. Awareness. O Ram's glory, O bliss, O joy. Come on, O Ram. Ramdas is lost in thee. Lost in joy. In bliss untold, indescribable. Lost in thy effulgence, in thy light. Flash, flash, flash. Everywhere flash. Love, love, love. Everywhere love. So here an attempt is made by him to make 100% perfection, A+. At the gross level purity has been attained. We have gone through that. All these chapters. We travelled with him. Never we found at the grossest level anything that is me and mine was there. But still Papa says after coming back, desire crush them out. And the next one is all pervading. He makes us to think about the space, about the sky, about the water. We all live in the same space. All of us are getting the same sun. Sun's light, sun's redeeming influence. Air. Trees. And when such a mental exercise was going on. He must have felt. And you see, I think, he says, about the intensity getting warmed up, No sleep, no food, no rest, no enjoyment. Oh goodness, no rest, no sleep, no food, no enjoyment, but thy divine love, thy divine light. You can take it as intense pining. And then he gets the inner light on. Somehow he gets that experience. So then he is merging in it. Again, after a break. Fame, name, wealth, relations, friends, all mirage. Nothing real, nothing true here, there. Mind fixed on Ram derives infinite bliss. For Ram is love, Ram is kindness, Ram is joy. Ephemeral and eternal. This fame, name, wealth, relations, friends. We know that it is all transit. Temper. We were not having, we will have it for some time, then we will not have. But the real, what is the real? So this is a clear cut, as sadhakas we take it that we have to keep on reminding ourselves about the hollowness or futility of the ephemerals and the true nature, that is eternal nature, everlasting nature. Let the body go, let the mind go, let the senses disappear, let the words vanish, let all that appears pass out of their phantom existence. Ram, the love eternal, the bliss eternal, lives, endures, is pure, undefiled, serene, peaceful. All hail, Ram, all hail. Again, the ephemeral and the eternal have been given some. Here he is specific again. Let the body go, let the mind go, let the senses disappear, let the words vanish, let all that appears pass out of their phantom existence, unreal existence. Ram, the love eternal, the bliss eternal, lives, endures, is pure, undefiled, serene, peaceful. We can take it that every now and then we are either meditated and chanted. So early in the morning when we spend some time, suppose we try to bring these, it might help us. Clearly evaluating the ephemerality. We have been going through the inquest of God. Everybody must have applied their mind on the theme. Papa has been trying to make us understand that superficial reading will not help. Now he has prompted us to take up the outpourings, but again we will go back to the text. The September issue of the Vision will carry details about what we have been sharing. And let us see how Papa takes us to the next stage. So we will start reading the first proof. We start with Papa's poem. Blissful inner witness. The pattern of my life was woven by you. So also of all lives. The outer patterns are different, but you are the inner spirit, are one and the same in all. In the quest of you, I found you are the blissful inner witness, the spirit in me and in all beings. All patterns are mine, designed by me, my forms, my body, my outer expressions. Ultimately the truth dawned in me. I am in all yourself, or you are all in myself. This poem itself, it makes us to think deeply. The pattern of my life was woven by you. So also our life. In his case, at the age of 37, this was made known to him. Even at this time, we don't know. We think we have. We have our life. But he was very clear. My life has been designed, woven, weaving, woven. The pattern of my life was woven by you, so also of our life. The outer patterns are different. Everyone is different, everyone is unique. But you who are the inner spirit are one and the same in all. In the quest of you, in quest of God, I found you are the blissful inner witness. The spirit in me and in all beings. Inner witness. All patterns are mine. Here, immediately he raises himself to that level. Designed by me. All forms, my bodies, my outer expressions. Ultimately, the truth dawned in me. I am in all yourself, or you are in all myself. This is how the poem for September starts. September issue. Editorial. An earnest pursuit to unearth the blessed life and teachings of beloved Papa Swami Ramdas. Through the reading of his book, In Quest of God, revealed that he wandered all over India, from the deep south to the far north, Rameshwaram to Himalayas, abandoning all comforts and conveniences of earthly life, reliant only on the great provider. Often the sky was his roof, the earth his bed, wild streams quenched his thirst. In fact, he was led, fed and taken care of by Ram in different forms. Indeed, no one was a stranger for him, for he found Ram in everyone along the way. He shared his endless love and compassion with the whole of humanity. He wanted everyone to walk towards that which would provide unending peace and happiness. That is the purpose, he wrote this In Quest of God. Hot from the experience. He wanted all of us to walk towards that which would provide unending peace and happiness. When Pujya Mataji insisted that all devotees every now and then should read Virat Papa's first book, In Quest of God, 11 times at a stretch in 11 days, nobody gave serious thought to the real purpose of it, nor did they understand how it would help them in their spiritual journey. Later on, it slowly dawned on those who followed her advice that this repeated act of reading and rereading the page, the book, at a deeper level, greatly helps not only in understanding, assimilating, absorbing everything about the spiritual journey, but also provides the foundational material that is needed for an earnest aspirant at the start of the self-pursuit. Is that clear? Mataji herself will talk to us now about what she meant. The book also guides one to be able to overcome many hurdles that one may come across while moving towards the ultimate. Going through this book with the above perspective is an inner churning and an inward journey to explore a little deeper into the hitherto unknown or less understood facets of Papa's life and teaching. From this month onwards, the vision will carry results of this inner exploration. Now, the first lead article, molded in the hands of Ram by Papa. It was in the year 1921 in Mangalore that the all-merciful Lord of the universe first fired Ramdas's bosom with a keen longing to realize him. From that time, his life was undergoing a marvelous change. His one overwhelming passion and aim of life was to live for God and God alone. His one overwhelming passion and aim of life was to live for God and God alone. God's powerful name was indelibly stamped on his tongue. Now it was that he was becoming conscious of a divine influence working silently but irresistibly in him, gradually dominating and possessing him. He felt an awakening within the very core of his being. With steady steps and unflagging zeal, he now entered upon a path of rigorous self-discipline. The trials and hardships of the path did not daunt him. Repeated appeals, persuasions, remonstrances could not make him swerve an inch from the path. What a deep commitment. He was calm, earnest, determined. As time passed in prayer, fasting and repetition of God's name, the consciousness of divine possession and guidance assumed such a predominance that at last the divine voice within him drove him forth from Mangalore to the wide world. What was his condition at this momentous hour? He was a dazed and helpless creature caught in the grip of an all-powerful being. He did not know what he was doing. He was under the full control of an almighty power, without any offer of resistance on his part, just as a baby in the hands of his mother. Verily, it was God alone who held him. A God who is at once his divine mother and master. So real, loving, kind and good. How tenderly he nursed and guided his newborn offspring during his first year's itinerant life all over India forms the theme of In Quest of God. During that period, his mind was merged in a unique stillness of peace. His life was one of unreserved self-surrender. And as regards the world, in a sense it was not there for him. That is, he was dead as it were to the world. He was travelling from place to place like an automaton, as if in a dream, indifferent to, nay unconscious of, his body and environment. All through it, God to whom he had surrendered of his life was mysteriously influencing his movements and controlling and taking care of him in every way. It was really an entire dedication on one side and a watchful, benevolent protection on the other. He experienced that he was living and moving in a new world in which he felt that there was none other than himself and his great master Ram. His all in all. In this wonderful vision of inexpressible ecstasy and peace, he struggled to dwell always. This exalted consciousness, possessing as it did the characteristic of perfect vacancy or emptiness, was filled with an ineffable rapture of peace, silence and repose. The dual throng, pleasure and pain, good and evil, cold and heat, etc., relating to the physical body affected him not, for his mind was not there to take note of these sensations. It would always be in tune with the infinite spirit of stillness and peace. There were occasions when, under certain conditions, he could be dragged down. This is very important. There were occasions when, under certain conditions, he would be dragged down with a jerk, as it were, to the sense of the old world and its association. But he would be instantly pulled up by the silent, watchful spirit within. Alertness. In those days, Ramdas's haunts were caves, jungles, ruins, riverside, graveyards, hills, cremation grounds. It appeared that these places exerted on him a strange fascination. Instinctively, he avoided the din and bustle of the city life and was unconsciously led away from it to dreadful solitudes. The sense of fear had vanished from him entirely. Danger and death had lost their terrorism for him. A feeling of perfect assurance, security and protection was ever with him. The powerful Rama Mantra never left his lips. He was uttering like a machine. It has been revealed in Inquest of God how miraculously he was more than once saved from terrible situations to mold, transform and manipulate him as he willed, a wax lump in his dexterous hands. You see nowadays, the image is built on wax. He compares himself, a wax lump in his dexterous hand. He was indifferent alike to his body and to the external world, and was found absorbed solely in Ramsmaran or God remembrance. He was also discovered to be a child, passive, docile, obedient. He was bathed, clothed and fed and led in all things. In fact, he had neither attraction nor repulsion from the world. His attitude towards it was simply inexpressible, for he felt in fact nothing to interest him in the world, and curiosity he had none. It was simply a wonderful state. Even intellect and emotion seemed to have ceased to function. Truly God by his power had eradicated from his heart the false self-asserting ego and was working himself in its place. During this period, Ramdas scarcely talked. He was perfectly fearless. Love and hate, like and dislike, conveyed no meaning for him. In brief, he could be likened to a dry leaf, tossed at random as the wind of divine will listed. It was thus that he was guided back by God to Mangalore after a year's absence. In brief, he has given us, till he came back. Again, Papa's words. Can you form an idea of the severe struggle Ramdas had to pass through before attaining God? We should not make the mistake of thinking that by our effort we get him. Really, by his will, grace and power alone, we can have him. Even before Ramdas left Mangalore in 1922, it had become increasingly clear to him that God had taken him up for granting him the vision and experience of his life, power and joy. In the book In Quest of God, you will find that he left Mangalore not of his own accord. God wanted him to go out of Mangalore and wander about. Everything Ramdas did was at the prompting or inspiration of God. When we are on the path, the best way is to struggle with the knowledge that he is making us struggle. When we are on the path, the best way is to struggle with the knowledge that he is making us struggle. He is giving us the incentive to do sadhana. So also he is watching and guiding us in every action. When led into solitude, Ramdas went there like an automaton. God willed that he should go there. He obeyed. In the midst of wild beasts, he had absolutely no fear because he was obeying the Master's command and nothing untoward happened. After Ramdas had received the initiation from his Guru, guidance always came to him from within. As he recognized this, he would not care for the advice of anybody. Many told him he was going on the wrong path, but the fact was, he did not know whether what he was doing was right or wrong. God had set him on the path, and therefore he had no fear or frustration. We must always feel he is guiding us. God must inspire us in all things. We should feel God leads us on. There is reasoning and planning here. There is no reasoning and planning here. The earth comes from within. Yeah. Many people struggle egoistically for years without any spiritual attainment. It's all meant for us, You ought to know that God is directing you. You must be conscious of it. For instance, at the age of 38, suddenly the change came over Ramdas. He was leading an ordinary life. Hunger for God came to him because God gave it to him. Why did he not have it earlier? God did not will it. He felt that it was he who called him. When they read, there are two he comes. But printing the capital H and the lower can be easily identified. He felt, God felt, Ramdas felt that he did not, it was he, the capital he. It was God who called him away. In his book, he had stated that God drove him away from Mangalore. In fact, God led him away. Just as a mother leads the child by the hand to any place she likes. In the book World is God, the first chapter is entitled God Leads. People often ask what made Ramdas give up everything and go away. Ramdas' only answer is, God made him do so. His renunciation was not reasoned out or planned out. The earth was so strong that he could not resist it. It was all in his hand. God did whatever he liked with him. There was no question of why and wherefore. When are we going to reach a stage when we will be free from this why and wherefore? Every time our mind and intellect, keeps on analyzing the why and wherefore. Many years ago, Ramdas was thinking that he was separate from God. He was taking his name and praying to him so that he might be merged in his all-pervading, all-transcendent being. But gradually, light dawned on Ramdas, by which he realized that the difference between him and God was false. Then God spoke to Ramdas. You call yourself my servant, but you and I are one. His grace came in such abundance that the ego totally disappeared, just as darkness disappears when the light is brought. So by continuous thought of him, ego sense was completely destroyed. Ramdas found out that he and the Supreme Being are one. Thereafter, his one mission was to tell everybody about God. With the Divine Mother. Bhajan Mandir, Puja Mataji called Darshan Singh and Sri Sharbai and told them to enlist 11 persons who were willing to read In Quest of God daily for 11 days, completing the entire book each day. The list was quickly made up. Mataji asked the concerned devotees to do 14 rounds of the Homa Mandir from the outside after completing each day's reading. You see now the importance, Homa Mandir, she did not say Samadhi Mandir. Homa Mandir, where we offer all our worldly things and get ourselves purified. This is what Mataji meant. And those days there was nothing there, So she wanted, after reading, after completing every day, she wanted to have this 14 times. With that bhavana, Mataji asked the concerned devotees to do 14 rounds of the Homa Mandir from the outside after completing each day's reading. Mataji first asked the devotees who had enlisted themselves for the reading and pradakshina to place their copies of In Quest of God on the Samadhi of Beloved Papa and to pray to him to bless their efforts in this direction and to grant them realization, and only then to start their reading. In Quest of God for realization, How many of us, Mataji was very, very clear, Kindly think about it. So she wanted everyone who enlisted there to go to the Samadhi Mandir and then place it at Papa's feet and pray to him to bless their efforts in this direction and to grant them realization, and only then to start their reading. Later in the afternoon, Mataji elaborated, the idea came to me from Papa all of a sudden when Darshan was prostrating, and I asked him if he was ready to complete reading of Inquest of God daily for 11 days. When he agreed, I saw Shabai enter the room. I told him also, then asked him to enroll in all 11 persons for this purpose. Today is Purnima and Holi. Holi signifies killing of Kamdeva, who represents our desires. So if you start reading Inquest of God today with a prayer to Papa to burn all your kama or desires and thereby your deha buddhi as well, and if you pray to Papa with sincere devotion, Papa is bound to grant you. We have all heard this, but this never struck to us. 11 days, 11 times. Papa's room. Mataji has been evincing keen interest in the progress made by the volunteer devotees in reading Inquest of God daily. She asked those present how much time each one took to finish the read. Mataji. While reading, do you give full attention to what you have read, or do you just skip it through? One devotee, no, Mataji. I find as days go by that I take more and more time. Papa's language in Inquest of God is so sweet that at places I feel like lingering over the lines, tasting it again and again like a sweet. Mataji, that is how it should be. That is why I asked you all to read Inquest of God in order to imbibe its sweetness. Mataji will be happy. At least we are all now doing some effort, Though we could not hear her voice all these days, now she will be happy. Papa's unique spiritual approach by Pujya Swamiji. Beloved Papa renounced the so-called worldly life and saw everything as divine, and therefore accepted and embraced the whole universe as his own. The impact of the renunciation, or the spirit of renunciation he had, burnt off all his vasanas and gave him a new life, as it were, and made him Swami Ramdas. And that impact had its influence on the lives of innumerable devotees who saw him and followed his teaching. It will continue to influence the lives of thousands of devotees in future also. Such is the effect of one person's renunciation. Only by God's grace one can get such renunciation. It is not by our power or by our effort that we get such fiery renunciation. But what we can do is to appreciate or understand what Beloved Papa gained by his renunciation, try to reach such a state so that we may also enjoy the same peace and bliss. In fact, I would say the word renunciation does not suit very well in our Beloved Papa's case, because acceptance of everything was his creed. That is his unique spiritual approach. Beloved Papa was so devoted to God, so immersed in God remembrance, so forgetful of the day-to-day world that he did not want anything else. He wanted only God. He wanted to live in God, move in God, have his being in God. So all the other things, that is the household, relations, old family life, etc., dropped away from him, setting him free. He became a free bird, wandered all over India with Ram Nam on his lips and the vision of Ram everywhere, accepting everything that happened as happening by the will of God. There was absolutely no struggle in his giving up of things or renouncing things. You must have read in his book, Inquest of God, and in the Vision of God, that his only aim was to keep up God remembrance all the 24 hours and submit to his will in all matters, thus remain in constant communion with him, is a great lesson for us. Our effort should be to remember God constantly and thus remain in communion with him ceaselessly. We should seek only God. If you want also many other things of the world, our devotion becomes divided. And we may not find time to remember God constantly, as other things we are after drag our mind down. But those devotees who want only God should devote all the 24 hours for God remembrance, employing every method possible. Then automatically other things will fall away from us without effort. In Beloved Papa's case, we have seen on some occasion, he had no food to eat. He was so oblivious to hunger and thirst because he was absorbed in God. When somebody offered food to him, he told that friend, "Oh friend, you reminded Ramdas of food." So also, if we live in God all the time, we'll be forgetting our worldly needs and comforts. Automatically, the divine qualities will be developing in us without our knowledge. Unfortunately, what is happening with us is that though we are prepared to renounce big things like family, position, property, we are not able to give up small things like likes and dislikes, petty prejudices, which unfortunately hinder our progress. If we remain God remembrance all the 24 hours, and if we are successful in that, we can be sure we will be guided unerringly. We will not be made to slip down from the path. God will be protecting us every moment. So our effort must only be to maintain His remembrance all the 24 hours of the day, at least during all our waking hours. That is what our beloved Papa did and expressed us all. We have only 3-4 minutes. The next one is also very thought-provoking, all the collections. So we will not be in a hurry to finish. Tomorrow we'll take it up. Right from the beginning also we'll take it up because there were some interruptions. So here we thought we would read Mataji's book again. At least let us all feel, she is talking to us today. Puja Mataji called Darshan Singh and Shabai. They were here at that time. This must have happened in 80s, and told them to enlist 11 persons who were willing to read In Quest of God daily for 11 days, completing the entire book each day. The list was quickly made up. Mataji asked the concerned devotees to do 14 rounds of the Home Mandir from the outside after completing each day's reading. Mataji first asked the devotees who had enlisted themselves for the reading and pradakshina to place their copies of In Quest of God on the Samadhi of Beloved Papa and to pray to him to bless their efforts in this direction and grant them realization, and only then to start their reading. Later in the afternoon, Mataji elaborated, "The idea came to me from Papa all of a sudden when Darshan was prostrating, and I asked him if he was ready to complete reading In Quest of God daily for 11 days. When he agreed, I saw Shabai enter the room, and I told him also, then asked him to enroll in all 11 persons for this purpose. Today is Purnima and Holi. Holi signifies killing of Kamadeva, who represents our desires. So if you start reading In Quest of God today with a prayer to Papa to burn all your Kama or desires and thereby your Deha Buddhi, body consciousness as well, and if you pray to Papa with sincere devotion, Papa is bound to grant you power. Mataji has been evincing keen interest in the progress made by the volunteer devotees in reading In Quest of God. She asked those present how much time each one took. Then she said, while reading, do you give your full attention to what you have read, or do you just skip through it? Now, devotee said, no, Mataji, I find as days go by that I take more and more time. First day, maybe, suppose 5 hours, 3 hours or 4 hours, it will be definitely 5 or 6 hours. It's a great tapasya. To read In Quest of God in one go with this bhavana. And she wanted us, she's connecting up. Reading to be preceded by an ardent prayer to Papa. The purpose of reading is reminder. And after the reading, 14 rounds. 14 letters, 14 rounds of Homan there. Seeking His grace who is all pervading. Because Mataji had said at the time of naming the Homan Mandir, that place we will identify ourselves with the cosmic reality of Papa. So expansion from the individual consciousness to the universal consciousness. So every day we are reminding ourselves by doing this pradakshina. We are reminded of the holy and all-powerful Ramnam, which is 14 letters. And then it is preceded by and succeeded by. Both are there. There is a suffix and prefix. And in between reading, she was monitoring and says, well, do you? Maybe that one chapter may not. Other chapter will definitely, We will try to unearth what is behind, what is between the two lines. What is lying dormant. What is expressed, what is not expressed. So this is how Mataji wanted all of us to do the inquest of God reading. So with that bhavana, we will take it up. Rest of the time we will fill it with Ramnam. And let us all take it up with all earnestness. When Papa makes it possible for everybody to come to ashram, after the pandemic is abated, we can have this. 11 days at a stretch, we can enlist those who are interested, those who are prompted from within. We can go through the same as Mataji. We will do the same thing. Until such time, we will mentally do this in our own place. And try to at least read one chapter now. If everybody is involved in so many commitments, if they are not in a position to free themselves from the preoccupations, then a workable formula can be. And when they come to ashram, they can exclusively. Kindly make it a point to be here for 11 days at a stretch. So we can relieve those and then really take advantage of the theme contained in it. And by the time we watch ourselves whether the mindset gets changed, transformed, whether we are revisiting, we are redefining. We all must have read. But during the past 1 month now, when we were intensely going through that, there is a joy, we were able to at least enjoy something. We will keep it up. So that is why Papa prompted us that this should be shared the next month's vision and for a few more other issues. We will see how he takes us. We have no idea. At the moment we have no idea. This much he has given. September issue shall be on Inquest of God. And October issue we will have the test meted out to him. So the idea is to keep it alive in our mind. Keep it hobby. Let it not get diffused or deflated by our various preoccupations. Let us take Mataji's words seriously. Pray to her from the bottom of the heart to give us the needed push from inside. To really make use of the treasure that is hidden in Quest of God. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
One more thing which we forgot to add. Throughout this inquest of God, Papa was trying to maintain God remembrance. Or you are maintaining God remembrance. And you are relying on the name. When our mind gets preoccupied with the reading, manana, and unknowingly, probably, we might dilute our commitment to Ramna. So today morning, one poem of Papa on the glory of the divine name that we would like to share what we enjoyed. So that this is also kept there in our mind, intact. It need not be vocal, it can be silent or mental. But what is more important is not to leave it. He says, if you would have peace, seek it in His name. If you want to see God, chant His holy name. If you wish for freedom and joy, find it in His name. If you aim at highest wisdom, you have it in His name. If you aspire for life eternal, on your tongue have His name. Name is your path. Name is your goal. Name is the means. Name is the end. Name is the truth. Name is God. If you would have peace, seek it in His name. If you want to see God, chant His holy name. If you wish for freedom and joy, find it in His name. If you aim at highest wisdom, you have it in His name. If you aspire for life eternal, on your tongue have His name. Name is your path. Name is your goal. Name is the means. Name is the end. Name is the truth. Name is God. So this also has to be kept in the corner of our mind. Then only our inquest of God pursuit will become a success. We will be able to really take advantage of it. If this does not go along with it, the mind gets preoccupied with so many things. So this is a clear-cut warning. Today morning, we must have read this many a time. But this morning when we came here, suddenly he reminded, hey, look here. Don't loosen your hold on the name. That was the one which kept him, alive. So with that bhavana, we should take care of it. Part of the mind should be there. Part of the mind should be occupied with Nama. We may not be able to fully occupy now. So to supplement that, we will take up the reading. We will do Manan, but not at the cost of chanting. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram